Hey, good Thursday evening, everybody. My goodness, I feel like I've been away from you for a very long time, but it actually hadn't been that many days. We just traveled up to Dallas on Sunday, did the annual meeting on Monday. We were in person, everybody else was virtual. It's kind of interesting because COVID has really altered a very altered lives in very real ways, even this late in the year, even this late. But want to thank y'all for your confidence if you been pulling for me. I am officially the president of the Baptist General Convention of Texas, and will carry out that position in that capacity at least through next November, when the annual meeting will be in Galveston. So I'm excited about Galveston. I've promised everybody that comes to Galveston that the good folks in Southeast Texas are going to deliver some delicious gumbo. So I think that's important for us to bless our fellow Texans with some of the best fare from all of Southeast Texas. Man, we've got a lot on our plates coming up for the next week. Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe next Thursday is Thanksgiving? I can't believe it, but it's here. Maybe you've been looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it. It's just been it's wild to think that it's upon us. Carlene, hey, all y'all, Carlene and Alton, hey, listen, y'all forgive me. I promised that I would have a little co-host. Co-host fell asleep. Co-host is sleeping with Birdie. He is resting well in Birdie's arms. So this is as much William as I have to offer tonight. But William's doing really good. So continue to pray for Archie. Pray for William as well. But man, they're just hey, they're making some progress, making some strides. Need Archie to make even more progress. And Randy, hey, big fist bump, brother, man. Good to see you. And I got to thank you coming your way in the. Be looking in your mailbox, brother. Alan, man, good to see you. Give Michelle a fist bump if she's right there by you. Joyce, hey, Carolyn Wilkinson did an awesome job on her portion of the Memorials Committee presentation. So you have to brag on her if you see her, talk to her. Sammy, good evening. Give Paul a big fist bump. Give Reed a fist bump if he's around. Are y'all still playing football? Is playoffs happening? I know y'all had a playoff game, I think, but we've not yet finished our season. Man, it's just like the football season that is just going to go on all year long. Not that we're in the playoffs. We didn't start the season until almost October. So things are a little bit strange in that regard. Mickey, hey, big fist bump all the way to Florida. And check it out. We got Paul Burden in here. Paul Burden, who's being represented by a picture of Adrian Burden. But man, there's striking similarities, good genetics, good strong genetics passed all the way down through the generations there. Janice, I hope you're doing well tonight. Hey, give Tracy a big fist bump from me, and just know y'all are in my prayers. Okay, so if y'all need anything, call on me. Ma, hey, I hope you're holding down the fort in Iredell, Texas, and be looking forward to seeing you very, very soon. Tracy, hey, I sent a fist bump through Janice. I hope she gave it to you. I really did miss y'all Tuesday morning. I apologize. Didn't have my stuff with me for getting on the broadcast. But hey, we're here tonight and we're together. So that's the main thing. And we got good things coming up. Carlene, good evening to you. I hope you and Pat are doing well. And Retha, I tell you what, give Wayne a big fist bump from me. Good to see you, Retha. Brandon, I hope you've spoiled Jennifer. Happy birthday to Jennifer. She's 27, 28 years old. I can't remember. I'm just going by looks. But God bless y'all, man. Hope y'all cook steak. Hope you cook steak for her. You're a good guy. I know you were up to it. Angela, Good evening. Hope everything's going well in and around Chilton. Sammy, I'll tell you what, you tell Reed I said good luck. I hope they prevail. Hope the Rattlers, can't believe I'm saying this because we had to play the Rattlers so often in high school. Hope the Rattlers prevail tomorrow. So go purple. And folks in Nederland might get mad and be saying go purple, but that's okay. That's okay. And Brenda, I hope everything is great in Paris, Texas tonight. God bless you, and it's good to see you. I've missed you. Francis, I've missed you too. So good evening to you. Hey, listen, I'm going to put a link in here, I think, for the, I can't spell. I can't talk and type at the same time. Listen, we're doing another Lord's Supper, and if you would like a Lord's Supper kit, we'd be glad to mail you one. If you can make your own Lord's Supper kit, just know that it's coming up on the 29th. That's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. But the Lord's Supper will be shared on Facebook, in person, on television. Radio is going to be kind of tough, but we'll work on that in the future. But if you'd like a Lord's Supper kit, just follow that link. I'd be glad to mail you a Lord's Supper kit. And I've also put together a little devotional book for Christmas. If you want the devotional book and you don't want the Lord's Supper kit, just send me a message. Let me know. Let me know in here, and I'll make sure you get one. But I found a little bit of interesting history. The date of Thanksgiving, the original Thanksgiving, going back all the way to the Pilgrims, 1621. Probably somewhere in the month of October, sometime after the corn harvest is when they would have celebrated their first Thanksgiving with the Native Americans that were there, and it's written about pretty largely, and it's really interesting history. In fact, I'm rereading a book about Thanksgiving that is just really awesome. It's called They Came for Freedom, and I would encourage you to read it because America finds its origins in the Pilgrims' passions for liberty, religious liberty in particular, but that led to all manner of other liberties. It came from agreeing that they needed laws to govern themselves instead of just, the might makes right kind of rule of the European countries where kings and potentates lorded over their subjects, or in Russia where there was just serfdoms, fiefdoms. The Mayflower Compact really sowed the seeds for the kind of democracy that we have in America nowadays. And it was in 1621, in October of 1621, more than likely, that the Pilgrims, after a terrible year, there were 102 people who came over from Europe on the Mayflower. Out of those 102, only 52 had survived to the next year, to the harvest of their crops in the fall. Just amazing. And they chose that time to offer thanks to God. They didn't do it because they felt like it. They did it because they needed to. I mean, they needed Thanksgiving. We need Thanksgiving this year. Thanksgiving is good for us. Thanksgiving redirects our attention away from ourselves and focuses our attention upon our good Heavenly Father. Thanksgiving, if you want to look at it as a national institution, was really established by Abraham Lincoln. Well, I mean, there were other presidents who made Thanksgiving proclamations. George Washington in 1789 made a wonderful, beautiful Thanksgiving proclamation. I encourage everyone to Google it, Wikipedia, go read it. Abraham Lincoln's really comes at a time of the highest version of national discord in the height of the Civil War, when both sides of the Civil War were suffering huge casualties. I mean, epic casualties. The North had just been hemorrhaging, men, munitions, and even their will to fight was about dissolved. The South was throwing everything they had into the battle and paying huge cost for the victories that they were winning. It was in this context that Abraham Lincoln issued a Thanksgiving proclamation. It's interesting, in during World War One, there were encouragements from the government to be, I guess, kind of Spartan in individuals' Thanksgiving feast. Now, that's kind of interesting. Now, we find ourselves in the time of coronavirus, and we see governments, we see magistrates, we see, civic authorities or civil authorities asking people not to, go into excess in their relating with one another. No housefuls of people, no great big gatherings. That's really a sacrifice. I mean, sometimes I like the people more than I like the food. I always like the food, but the people are what's most important. I mean, giving thanks in the company of of our loved ones is crucial. It's important that we, no matter what is going on in our lives, we pause to give thanks, because it's the offering up of gratitude to God in spite of our circumstances that really puts things in its proper, puts life in its proper perspective. It helps us to recognize our blessings, but it also helps us to overcome those areas where we might be failing, we might be falling, or we might have run out of enthusiasm for. And the Lord's going to He is going to give us the enthusiasm to finish this year out strong, to round the corner of Thanksgiving into the Christmas season, to celebrate the birth of His Son, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, in a worthy way. And so, with that thought in mind, with these Thanksgivings occurring in times of great conflict, in times of great tragedy, I hope that we would follow suit by offering God our robust, heartfelt, genuine expressions of thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving would be more than getting together to watch a football game while eating turkey, that it would be a solemn occasion of telling God thank you for His blessings and the many benefits that He's delivered to us over the prior year. And the Apostle Paul, he uses an occasion that is not the best for himself, but he doesn't let his situation dictate his affection for the Lord or his worship of the Lord. The book of Philippians is another one of those prison letters. Colossians, we've been talking about, I talked about Colossians till I couldn't talk about Colossians anymore. I think we ran out of words for the book of Colossians, because it's a brief book. It's a brief epistle. But Philippians is very similar in that Paul was writing from prison. He was writing about choosing to engage with God in the realm of gratitude. Listen to what Paul says. This is the last part of his letter. This is after he's exhausted his inkwell and burned up a whole quill writing this letter, this heartfelt letter from his prison confinement. He says in chapter 4, verse 4, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice." Isn't that beautiful? Paul didn't have to say it twice, but he did anyway, because God knew that we would need to hear it twice. There are days that, today was absolutely beautiful down here in Southeast Texas. This entire week has been beautiful in Southeast Texas. At my office, I've opened up the window just to let the fresh air kind of circulate in, let it refresh things. It's been absolutely wonderful. It makes me want to take up fishing or something, or at least have spent more time outside. But some days it's just dreary and rainy, and the climate outside is indicative of what is going on in our hearts, and we don't feel like Thanksgiving. Sometimes you can't feel your way towards what you need to be doing. You just need to do what you're called to do, and it leads to the proper kind of feelings. Worship, even when, we wake up on a Sunday morning, we might have some aches or pains, we might have some regrets about things that we've done the prior week, we might have some reservations about engaging in worship. It's those Sunday mornings where we don't exactly feel like worship that we truly need to push through those feelings and attend to our divine services, our disciplines, and the worship of God, our Creator, because it reorients us. It reorients our actions, our intentions, and our affections, so that we can get on board with what God is doing. God wants what's right for us, no matter how we feel, and we need to get ourselves in line with what His program is for us. Paul says, not once but twice, rejoice in the Lord always, not just on Saturdays, not on Thursdays, not just on Sundays, but always, every day we need to look for a reason to say, Lord, I want to thank you for life. I want to thank you for liberty. I want to thank you for the health that I have. I want to thank you for those that you've put in my life to influence me and for me to influence. We need to tell God, thank you for his many blessings and benefits. And he says it again. I will say it again. Rejoice. Now, we're going to use this as a jumping off point into, kind of flow through here for the next few days, because this is so rich in not just theology and doctrine, but in practice. What God tells us is good for us. It's true for us. It is beneficial, not just in our relationship with him, but in our relationship with others. Who likes to be around someone who is an ingrate, someone who is not thankful at all for anything, who is just surly about everything in life? I mean, nobody likes to be around someone like that, but it's a pure joy to be around someone who is joyful, who is gracious, who is thankful in all circumstances, who knows what it is to rejoice always, even in their prison confinement, even in the constraints of this life. I know some people like this, and I like to hang out with people like this, because even if I'm having a bad day, their joyful spirit, they're choosing to be joyful and to rejoice, always picks me back up. Hey, we need people like that in our lives, and we need to be that person for other people, for what they may be going through. You may be that connection that causes them to catch that spirit of rejoicing, so that they can too share in a spirit of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. That's what Paul's shooting for. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. So listen, I'll see you Saturday morning for sure. Saturday morning at 8:00. If you'd like the Lord's Supper kit, just follow that link that I've put in the comments. Go online, fill it out. If you would just like the gift, the book that accompanies it, just let me know. I think you can. There may be a means that you can communicate that through that link as well. But I'm looking forward to getting back in the rhythm. Sorry I missed Tuesday, but we're going to be more consistent going into the future. I hope everyone is turning the corner on this week, getting ready for a good Friday, looking forward to a great weekend, and especially having a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving next week. Hey, God bless y'all, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening.